guys, it's Kylie, and in today's video we're going to be making Mickey Rice Krispie Treats. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how I make my Disney Rice Krispie Treats. I love to have Rice Krispie Treats in the park. They're actually one of my favorite park snacks. So when I'm at home, I like to make them on my own so that I can have the feeling of the park even at home. But if you guys enjoy Disney videos and Disney content, definitely hit the subscribe button, turn the bell so you get notified every time I upload, as I post tons of Disney content on this channel. So I'm going to be doing this two different ways. I'm going to be making regular Rice Krispie Treats along with rainbow ones. So they do a rainbow one usually in June for Pride Month, but you can find them year round, and they have an addition of Fruity Pebbles in them, and they're actually my favorite ones in the park. So I'm going to be making those along with our regular Rice Krispie Treats. So the recipe we're going to be following for the treats themselves are just the one on the Rice Krispie box. So I'm going to start off with the butter, melt the butter, and then make our regular Rice Krispie Treats first, and then our rainbow ones. So for the first one, we're melting 4 tablespoons of butter, and then once that's melted, we'll add in our full-size marshmallows. So now that our butter is melted, we are going to add in our marshmallows. So I have 1 bag of regularly sized marshmallows. For the second set, we're gonna be using mini marshmallows just because that's all the store had. So I'm gonna pour in this whole bag. You use 1 whole 12-ounce bag of marshmallows. You don't have to use the Jet Puff ones. You can use regular ones, but this is just what they had, so this is what I grabbed. So you wanna make sure you cover all the marshmallows in the butter. It helps to prevent some of the sticking. But you just fill up the marshmallows, toss them in the butter, and then you're going to stick these in the microwave until they are melted. So now that all of our marshmallows are melted, it's got this nice like kind of sticky consistency, but it doesn't stick to the bowl that much because of all the butter. We're going to add in our 6 cups of Rice Krispies. So since this is the regular batch, you just straight add in 6 cups. I like to do about a couple cups, so probably like 2 or 3 cups, then stir a little bit, then add the rest. Disney does seem to have a higher Rice Krispie volume to some of their Rice Krispie treats. So sometimes I will add more depending on how it looks. It all just depends on how they all stick to the marshmallows. So just using my 1 cup measuring and adding my 6 cups of Rice Krispies to make our first batch. So I'm probably gonna add like an extra cup or so and stir this one in just so that it's a little heavier on the Rice Krispies. Just so that it gets that nice, thick, dense. Disney's ones are more dense than some other ones. If you use lesser Rice Krispies, they're gonna be a little bit fluffier, but I'm gonna try to make the dense ones that Disney does. So now that this is all set, I'm going to let this cool on a grease baking sheet. So in front of me, I have one of our baking sheets. So I'm gonna just grease it up and lay this all out and stick this in the fridge for about an hour so that it cools down before we turn them into the Mickey shapes. So we're just gonna kind of push it down on this baking sheet to make them as even as possible. Try to make before they are put into the fridge. So when they cool, they're a flat sheet of them and not like a big clump. So I'm just going through. It's kind of hard while they're sticky. You just want to, the longer they sit from being actually when they were like the microwaves, the longer the marshmallows sit, the more they cool down and they're easier to work with. So this is how I'm gonna let it sit. I'll probably push them down a little bit and smooth them out once they're in the fridge. So I'm gonna put this first batch in the fridge, and now we're gonna make our second batch. So I'm just gonna use the same bowl as it's what we already made in it, and I'm gonna start off with our butter again and then add our marshmallows. So for the mini marshmallows, you do only need 3 tablespoons of butter instead of 4. So I'm just gonna add that into our bowl to melt. So now I'm gonna add in our bag of mini marshmallows. It says to use 5.5 cups of them. So I'm just gonna measure that out because I'm not sure how many cups are in this bag, where the other one just has the 12-ounce bag. I'm gonna measure out the 5.5 cups. So that's my 5.5 cups, and now I'm going to heat these up once I coat them in the butter. So all you do is stir it around in the butter, and then you're going to heat these up so that they're all set to add to our Rice Krispie mix. So now that we have our marshmallows melted again, I'm going to add our Rice Krispies. This time you're going to do about 4 cups of regular ones, and I do 2 cups of the Fruity Pebbles. Disney's recipe is more like 5 cups of Rice Krispies and 1 cup of Fruity Pebbles. They just have them as an accent, but I like them a little bit stronger in my Rice Krispie Treats. So that's what I'm gonna do. So now I'm gonna add in our Fruity Pebbles. So now I'm gonna add these to our greased baking sheet and put these in the fridge to cool again for about an hour. So these are all set to go into the fridge and cool down for about an hour. And then we're gonna cut these all into our Mickey shapes. So now that our trays of Rice Krispie Treats have set, we're now gonna cut it into Mickey shapes. So I actually don't, surprisingly, have a Mickey shaped cookie cutter. So I have a big circle and a little circle, and I'm gonna be making these. These are the ears and the head. So I'm gonna now cut these into our Mickey shape. So all I'm gonna do is take the big one and place it down with enough room to put the small ones on the outside. I'm gonna push it into our Rice Krispie Treats. And then I'm actually just gonna take the small, pull that out without pulling out the whole treat. And then I'm gonna take the small one and kind of overlap it, put that one in, and do the same thing for the other ear so that we get the full Mickey shape before we pull it out. And now that they're ready, I'm going to pull them out. So all I'm gonna do is pull the rest of the Rice Krispie treat from the side. It's gonna take a little bit of pushing it back together because you're gonna have cut out like some of the body because of the ears. So now that I have it, this is actually what the full Mickey shape will look like. And I'm just gonna kind of push it together. On the back, you can notice it's nice and smooth, and I'm gonna put these on a separate tray. So I just lined this tray with wax paper, and I'm going to set our Mickeys that are ready to be covered in chocolate on that pan. So that I can fit more on here, I am going to just push together the excess Rice Krispie together to make, and I'll use a rolling pin to kind of roll it out so that I can make more Mickey shapes with the outside borders of the other ones. So now that I cut out my different Mickey shapes, a few of them needed a little kind of molding once they came out because they kind of fell apart as they were coming out. But overall look pretty good. I'm going to melt some chocolate, so I'm going to melt some white chocolate and some milk chocolate to cover our different shapes. I'm going to use some of the milk chocolate on the regular ones and some of the white chocolate on the rainbow ones, and then we're going to add some sprinkles. So we're going to start with the milk chocolate, and I'm going to take one of our Mickey Rice Krispie Treats, and I'm going to dip like kind of from the top half up, so the ears and the top half of the body, into our chocolate. So the way it's set up, I'm going to actually just kind of pour the chocolate on, just because they'll fall apart if I try to put them in. So I'm pouring the chocolate on one side, and then I'm gonna flip it over and pour the chocolate on the other side. I'm also gonna add some mini or Mickey shaped sprinkles to the top of our chocolate. So it's like a mix of regular sprinkles and Mickey shaped sprinkles. Now we're just gonna take one of the rainbow ones and dip it in our white chocolate. I did this one kind of in a bowl because I wanted to do the whole front of it in the front so I can cover it in some sprinkles. So I'm dipping the whole front in the white chocolate, and then I'm gonna pull it out. I might need to smooth it off because this white chocolate's not as liquid as I was hoping. It stayed pretty, this white chocolate stayed pretty thick. It never really melted down to a liquid, so I'm just gonna kind of smooth it off on the front, and then we're going to cover it in some sprinkles. For this one, I'm going to use these different colored sprinkles. So I have some pink sprinkles that I'm going to put on the bottom half. Then I'm going to put some red sprinkles, and then I'm going to finish it up with some purple. So now I'm gonna take all the Rice Krispie Treats that I made and stick them in the fridge so that the chocolate can harden, and then I'll show you our final product. So our Rice Krispies have now cooled and are out of the fridge. I think they came out pretty good. The chocolate definitely didn't work the way I wanted it to. The bowl I had initially for the milk chocolate was too small, and then the bowl I had for the white chocolate worked, but the white chocolate ended up overcooking and actually getting like burnt, which means it gets really thick and you're unable to work with it the same way you would be able to if it was much thinner. So I decided to just spread the chocolate onto the Rice Krispies, and I think they came out pretty good. I like the addition of the different sprinkles, and I definitely think they came out unique. in comparison to some of the different Disney ones you'd see at the parks. I do have the one from the Disney parks. I actually have a regular one and one of their rainbow ones. In comparison, they do look pretty good next to each other. I really like the homemade flavor a little bit better, but I do love Disney Parks Rice Krispies, and I really enjoyed making these different Rice Krispie treats. But if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more Disney videos on this channel, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!